Hey there, rSpace fam. Today we've got a couple stories where things may or may not have gone the intended direction. Why don't you be the judge? Let's get started. First, a story about getting back at my ex-wife with the perfect prank. And just for clarification, EW equals evil ex-wife and SL equals shark lawyer. So late 2016, I discovered my now ex-wife was cheating on me. As you can imagine, I was destroyed mentally and I felt like my life was spinning out of control. We had been through a lot together, so this really hurt. After the admission that she had cheated, we both figured seeing a professional would help and maybe we could make it work. Fast forward a month, I find a journal she had been keeping detailing everything. This was a second hard-hitting blow to my mental well-being. After reading some pages, I learned she's still cheating. This is my breaking point. I can't even look at her. I've stuck with her through drug addiction, a miscarriage, and a workplace injury that left her unable to hold a job. The injury is what led to a pain pill addiction I thought she had kicked. I was wrong. I was in total shock and revenge mode. I was going to destroy her. Day 1. I go to the county courthouse and retrieve a divorce packet containing what papers and documents one would need to file without a lawyer. I also make an appointment with a high-profile divorce lawyer in my state. The only downside was my soon-to-be lawyer was across the state roughly 6 hours away, so I had to take some time off work and meet with her ASAP. Day 2. After evil wife leaves for a bit to go to the store, I locate her journal and proceed to take very good pics of every page. I also decide to go through a few other things like finding her pill stash and, I kid you not, found a line of crushed pills on one of our glass drink coasters. I was livid at the sight of this and take pics of it as well. After EW returns home, I tell her I'm leaving for the city for the night and I'd be home the next day. At this point, she still believes I know nothing and I'm still trying to work things out. Day 3. I meet with the mastermind of a lawyer. She was a true shark. I explained everything to her, gave her copies of every photo, the texts of my evil wife admitting to cheating. Any type of dirt I had was laid out on a silver platter for this shark to salivate over. Shark lawyer asked me if I have any laundry to air. I told her no and told her everything I've been through. I was damn near untouchable when it came to my image as a good husband. Shark lawyer was pleased and said she would be happy to take my case and jokingly said, "This is going to be an easy payday." We settled on a flat fee of $4,000 since she was so sure the case would be a slam dunk, warning me though, if my evil wife was dumb enough to take the divorce to trial, my fees may go up, but not to worry about that. We drafted a very one-sided divorce decree, one where my evil wife would waive all claims to my 401k, over $200,000 at the time. She waived all claims to my truck, currently in both our names, and finally dividing up the debt, leaving me to pay only my personal credit card and utilities that were in my name, and any debt in my evil wife's name was hers and hers alone. With the documents in hand, I make the long drive back home and begin to set the wheels in motion. My evil wife is served the following day, and she moves out that night, trashing the house. At the same time, I assume to stay with whatever POS she was sleeping with. 2 months later, our divorce is finalized. I then contact every pharmacy, doctor, and physical therapist she used to inform them of her drug abuse along with pictures. I contact her new employer and hint that they may want to have her tested. This was her first job in 5 years since I wasn't there to support her. She's later blacklisted from the doctor, pharmacy, and fired from her job. On top of all that, I start seeing her best friend for casual cheating. Turns out, she loved rubbing it in evil wife's face that she was having relations with me. To this day, my evil wife has never recovered, holds a minimum wage job at a slum bar, and is still on the pills. I've recently learned her boyfriend is currently cheating on her, and I love it. This woman wasted 8 years in total of my life, and I've enjoyed watching her suffer. OP, you played this perfectly, and I'm so happy for you. I know it was hard at the beginning, but you definitely did the right decision, and karma hit her hard. Well played. It must feel great to come out of it all 100,000 times better than she did. The imagery of her now getting cheated on by the guy she cheated with is pretty hilarious to me. That was a major 8-year-long lesson learned. Alright, next up, don't announce your engagement at someone else's wedding, or this might just happen to you. Last summer, I was at a cousin's wedding. His bride and her family had been close with ours since before I was born, and the couple had known each other since they were toddlers, so it was a particularly exciting event for both sides of the family. However, after the ceremony was over and the party had only just started, one of the bridesmaids decided to announce her own engagement. The attention was immediately taken away from the newlyweds and brought to the bridesmaid, who I'll call Sarah, and her equally smug fiancé. My cousin's wife, I'll call her Emma, didn't make a scene or utter a single negative word about Sarah. She looked like she was on the verge of tears, but she kept grinning and acted very happy for the other couple. This was unusual, as Emma is typically quite confrontational and speaks her mind no matter the consequences. Sarah later picked Emma to be the maid of honor at her own wedding, which took place last weekend. I wasn't there for it, but my cousin sent me some of the best bits on Snapchat and explained the whole situation. This is where the fun begins. Emma's two much younger sisters were the flower girls at Sarah's wedding. At the very last moment, Emma switched out the white petals in their baskets to blue ones she had secretly brought with her. She told her sisters not to say anything about it or let the bride see them until it was time to scatter them down the aisle. Sarah looked very confused upon seeing the blue petals, which didn't coordinate whatsoever with her theme, but of course she didn't say anything about it at the moment. Most of Sarah's other bridesmaids were also Emma's friends, had attended Emma's wedding, and were in on Emma's scheme. At the reception, Emma's sisters and the other bridesmaids were tight-lipped when Sarah began demanding to know why there were blue petals. The wedding planner ended up getting a lot of abuse for not checking the flower girls' baskets before they walked down the aisle. Finally, it was time for the speeches. The speeches took place in front of a massive screen, displaying a loop of photos with Sarah and her husband, which had been compiled by Emma. Emma took the remote to control the presentation screen, and at first, she showed some pre-approved humorous photos of Sarah with Emma and other friends to facilitate a couple lighthearted jokes. Then, at the very end, Emma said to Sarah that she must be wondering why there were some blue petals instead of the white ones originally planned. That was when Emma displayed the last slide of her presentation. Emma announced in front of everyone that she was 5 months pregnant and that she'd just discovered the baby was a boy, hence the blue petals. The last slide, her ultrasound picture. There were shocked yells and gasps. Sarah had a fit, but those involved in the scheme cheered so loudly that I sincerely regret watching the Snapchat recordings with headphones. Apparently, Sarah had been very nasty to her bridesmaids before, driving several of them away and forcing the others to pay ridiculous amounts of money for dresses. Emma and my cousin were eventually thrown out of the party, but they were all smiles. Sarah's fuming mother went to confront her outside, and Emma retorted with, "Gentle, gentle, I'm pregnant." I reckon Sarah doesn't speak to the majority of those bridesmaids anymore. I love that you were able to plan and execute this perfectly. It was definitely well-deserved revenge. Never steal the spotlight at a wedding that's only supposed to be about the couple getting married. They spent a lot of money for the big day, and her doing this definitely derails the moment, ruins the memories, and will turn everyone against her. Although it should have been easy enough to simply kick them out immediately and carry on with after the party, this was definitely a more entertaining outcome. I'm glad it worked so well in the end.